Eric and I have just arrived at the Bethany Flea Market at the Bethany Airport in Connecticut. It is a beautiful day. There's lots of vendors out here. I've got my big brimmed hat on. Let's see what we can find. If you're in the market for some vintage, rusty old keys, then I know just the place for you. Some of these have such a great shape and they can look really pretty as part of your home decor if you hang them up on ribbon. Eric has this Schlitz beer advertising piece, so it's funny to see it here. We're ambling along to see what else is available at this flea market. I like this collection of vintage rugs, especially the first one to the left. It's got a great look, and there's some artwork here as well. A little something for everyone, I would say. This trunk is really nice and would look great at the foot of somebody's bed. Nice storage too. And here we have an old Life magazine. I want to see the date on this. It's 1944. And let's see if we can open up a few pages. Unfortunately, they're stuck together. It looks like something spilled on this at one point. There are some really cool old games here, including some I haven't seen before. So I'm going to zoom in on a couple that are of particular interest to me, like Tornado Bowl. Please leave me a comment if you ever played Tornado Bowl. And I've never seen Varsity either, so two new ones for me.
You know what this is?
What is it?
Drive-in. You'd open up your window.
Oh my gosh.
And then this would stay in your window, and you can close your window, and you're at the drive-in.
That's wild. Oh my gosh, let's see the front again. That's something they don't make anymore, huh?
You like that in your window, so you could listen to the...
That's awesome. Very nice. First purchase of the day. It's always confusing when Eric makes the first purchase of the day. That's usually my role. I'm drawn to this big box of plates because they look like Blue Ridge. They've got that hand-painted look. So let's see if we can find a back stamp. Yep, these are Blue Ridge pottery. They are so beautiful. It's a nice set here. I don't know how much they want for them. This is a pretty plate as well. I like the floral design on this. Very nice. Problem with flea markets is there are very few prices. These books are definitely on the old side. They have great bindings. Just take a real quick peek. There's a little writing on the cover. That's never a good thing. But they are very fun. Oh, look at these Osborne figures. Oh my gosh, it's so poignant because at the time of this recording, Ozzy had just passed. This stand has lots of homemade dog treats, so I'm just picking out which ones I'm going to take home with me. I think Licorice would like them all. This is a unique vintage projector. I think that's what it is with its original case. I think this guy has seen some use in his time. And this is interesting. I think the vegetables are glued on, so I guess it's just for decor. There's some cool things on this table, like this clock shaped like a drum. This had to have been a bicentennial piece. We have an anvil like this in the barn. I would not want to carry this thing around the flea market today, that's for sure. There's lots of other kinds of rusty, cool, vintage pieces here, very much in the spirit of Eric's kind of thing. And continuing on, we've got some vintage tools. I'm often drawn to these, but the truth is there's not too much that Eric doesn't already have. He's got a pretty good collection. He is liking this little metal tray. It's got some nice details. Such a pretty Afghan. Very colorful, very vintage. And this is a homemade quilt The vendor is looking for $60 for this. She said it's a twin size, which is kind of a hard size, but would make a really beautiful decorative throw right at the foot of someone's bed. And this is a nice one too. I think the price on this is the same, but I just wanted to show it to you because it's got lots of pretty fabric scraps. And I think the colors are really interesting too. This is a picture I've shown before on this channel. My mother had this exact piece in our foyer, so I always love seeing it. Little random watering can. And these look like Amish-inspired dolls. I saw things like this when I was in Pennsylvania. This seems to be some kind of medical equipment, maybe to check out your eyes. There's a label here, ophthalmometer. I might be saying that wrong. It's very interesting. There are definite collectors for medical themed items, and I bet somebody's gonna scoop that one up. And here's that apparatus for shaking off your fat. If only it were that easy, am I right? Eric has had one of these before, and he told me his had been in working order. And to round it off, we've got an old medical looking scale here. And we have something very similar to it in the barn. But this one has a really great look. I don't want to really step on that scale today, so let's just continue on. There's some fun trinkets here, like these earrings are really pretty. I like the details on these. And I'm thinking about possibly picking these up. I like these as well. And the prices on this table are very low, so it definitely makes me feel comfortable making some purchases because I won't really have buyer's remorse if something doesn't work out. This is a pretty bracelet. I just made a purchase. I like this vintage bag. The seller told me it was from the 1990s. And this might be a good gift pickup as well. Check out this really interesting frame with the horses. You could put 4 pictures in here. I was told that this was handmade. It's so cool. I am so enjoying looking at these little soldiers. I don't know if these are actually old or if these are reproductions. I know they did reproduce these a fair little bit, but either way, it's interesting to see them. I guess the ones in this box are only $1 each, and if you had a great place to display them, they could look really interesting as part of your home decor. I like this one especially. What a beautiful piece of handmade pottery. I love the design, and it has an inscription in the back. This table is full of handmade crafts that you can either buy or you can pre-order for purchase later. They are so cute. And there's some blankets and scarves and hats, all kinds of cool things. And I especially like Baby Yoda. He's adorable. This is a really beautiful wall clock, and I especially like that it says New England clock on it. This was made in Bristol, Connecticut, where lots of clocks were made back in the day. This is such a cute little rooster picture made by Grace's Teaware. They make lots of cool things. I'm checking out the towels in this basket. These are so handy. You can just sort of button them over a drawer handle and they stay put. And there's some pretty textiles over by the car. I'm taking in all the different things I'm seeing because you don't want to miss any treasures. I am all about this Winston Churchill doll. He is definitely distinguished, as the good man was. And over here we have some Lady Diana Spencer at her wedding. Look at that gown, and there is her poor groom lying on the table. We know this was not a happy match. But they are fun to see. That is quite a train, isn't it? Here's another great equestrian themed piece, and this is a tie rack, but you could repurpose it for all kinds of things. Back is nothing special. If I had a good place for this, it would probably tempt me because I think it's really cool. I've seen this bust before, but I cannot quite place where or who this is supposed to be. If you know, please leave me a comment. It's driving us crazy. I really like the frame and the photograph here. My grandmother used to have sun catchers like these on her kitchen window. She liked them in bird shapes, so these are reminding me a little bit of her. I'm checking out these old vintage boxes. I love the fonts and images on things like this. Even if they're not items that normally attract me, I just love seeing them, like this American double grit emery oil stone. You don't see that every day. At least I don't see that every day. But there are other really interesting vintage tools on this table. And of course, as I'm going through them, Eric is saying, I have that, I have that, and I have that. So I'm just looking and not buying. This table is full of pretty glassware, and I'm wondering if some of these green glass bowls and things might light up under a black light. I don't have a black light with me right now, so I guess that's a question I'm not going to have an answer to. This is cute. This is another thing that reminds me of my grandmother. She had something like this near her front door. Anne of Avonlea. I used to love Anne of Green Gables and the whole series. This one's $10. It has a book plate in it, which I always find interesting. And the cover's pretty rough, so I'm not going to bring it home. But beautiful illustration. She looks like a Gibson girl. And here is the title page in case you're curious to see it. Well, having recently bought a new washing machine, I'm feeling very aware of the fact that this was probably my great-great-grandmother's washing machine. I like the modern version better. These are kind of weird. They look like sleeping babies or something, but what I really like the best is the tablecloth behind it. Nice rolling pins. It's a nice collection there. And the table's kind of cool. There's lots of bits and pieces in this area. Some pretty artwork. That mirror would be so pretty if it were a different color, maybe with a little bit of rub and buff. And this little footstool is so pretty, and it looks hand embroidered. Very nice. This is such a nice big collection of vintage milk bottles, and some of them have their original caps. I know some people collect just the caps, so I imagine there's a lot of collectors for these. This is so funny. My brother used to collect He-Man figures when he was a kid, and he had this Battle Cat figure. He was obsessed with the TV show. It's fun to see it. Well, poor Eric, as usual, is carrying all of the bags and my other purchases, and we're making our way to the car because we are done here, and we had a great time. We're taking a drive to a nearby diner because we're starving, and after that, we're off to see a friend of ours. But first, we must have coffee. We're at Country Corner Diner in Bethany, Connecticut. I haven't been here in a long time. This coffee is amazing. We've just returned to the car, and I thought I would show you the top of the car flipping up. I always find that to be interesting. This is such a perfect day for a ride in the convertible. We don't drive this car nearly enough, but this is a great day for it. Look at that blue sky. We've arrived at our friend Penny's house. Penny used to live across the street from me. I really miss her being so close by, but she invited us to her pool for the day. So Eric is very slowly acclimating to the cold water. And here I am, of course, with a hat, an iced coffee, and my iPad, and I could chill out here all day long. Cheers. That might be pretty close to the most perfect day I've had in a long time. Of course, when we get home, I'll show you my finds. Eric and I found some treasures at the Bethany Flea Market at the Bethany Airport in Connecticut. It was definitely time well spent, and we were so glad that even though it was super hot outside, there was a delightful breeze, and that definitely made everything feel cooler and more comfortable. Even the vendors were talking about how relieved they were, because the day before had been like 100 degrees and super humid. So we had really good weather conditions. That always makes thrifting so much more fun. So I guess the first thing I'll show you is the first thing I actually bought, which is this beautiful handmade pottery. I don't know if it's a plate or a bowl. It's kind of flat like a plate, but it's also sort of raised up. This is so pretty. I love the details around it. And it says, all answers are within us, 2000, Becky Dennis, Gilport, Missouri. I think MS is Missouri, yes? Or is that Mississippi? Oh my gosh, I forget. I'll have to look that up because now I'm embarrassed. So this was a handmade piece. I love that it features an iris because, you know, my cat's name is Iris and it's one of my favorite flowers. So I thought this was a really unique piece and would look so pretty, especially displayed on a plate rack or in some other area of your house that needs a little pop of color and interest. I think this blue iris plate looks so pretty here in the library because there's lots of blue tones in this room, like the lamp and the sofa, and the walls are blue. And I think that the edges here, this little detail really makes it a little bit special. Definitely has that cool handmade studio pottery look. And I think this was a good find. After spending about 1.5 years reselling for profit, I have learned that it's not usually a good thing to pick up singleton plates. I prefer to pick up plate sets, at least like sets of 4 plates or more. But sometimes the price is so good and the plate is so attractive, I can't help myself. So I lost my mind a little bit for this blue and white turkey plate because I love Thanksgiving decor. Blue and white is so classic and elegant. And this plate was made in England. So this is the Queen's China. It's called Thanksgiving, which makes sense. And it's part of the Myatt Factory's archive. So this would have been based on an old pattern that was used back in the day. This plate isn't very old, but I do think it's really beautiful. And I didn't pay much for it, so I decided to grab it along with this one. Now this one is really old. I don't know how well the colors are coming up for you, but it has that really deep, rich cobalt blue that you see with old blue and white. So it's gorgeous. It has some crazing, but it has this wonderful church scene on it. The back stamp is very old. The back stamp says Abbey, 1790, England. So there is the back stamp. And you can see it's got some discoloration. This looks like a crack. It isn't. It's just a discoloration mark. So a really beautiful old blue and white plate that I hope somebody would love to put into their own collection. I think this blue and white plate looks gorgeous here on top of the china cabinet. I think putting it in the plate stand really lets all of the details stand out and the color really pops. So I think it looks really pretty next to this Delft planter. But if I wanted to make a switch for the holidays, that would be really easy to do. Let me show you. There we go, little Thanksgiving decor. And I think it looks equally nice. It's a different look, but I think it's really pretty. And I think if you wanted to decorate for Thanksgiving without being too literal in terms of the sort of the orangey brown tones, this is a great way to do it. I'm assuming that this next piece is hand painted because it certainly has that look. And it's like an old coffee pot that is depicting like this village scene. And the design goes all the way around. Even the base is painted to be like grass. And then of course you can see the sky. There's children playing in the field. I just thought this was so lovely. Here's the top. And I'll show you the inside. It's just plain. And here is the bottom. So I didn't see evidence of a signature until just now. So this seems to say McEdwards right underneath the handle. And I just thought it was too good to leave behind. So I grabbed it. I thought I would try this beautiful painted coffee pot right here on the fireplace mantle in the kitchen. This is really lovely. There's so many pretty details. I could look at this all day long. So you may be detecting a definite emphasis on handmade in this little haul. And so this beautiful painted board fits right in. So I'm holding it at a distance so you can hopefully take in the whole thing. I was told that the person who owned this purchased it at a Guilford fair and that they were told this was all hand painted by the artist. So it's a lovely snowy scene. This would be so pretty for somebody's winter decor. It says Christmas Tree Farm, cut your own. So you have Christmas trees and a barn and a house. Oh my gosh, it's really just so pretty. And because of the size, I think you could really pop this into a lot of different spaces. So I thought I would take a chance on it. If you look at the back, you can see it's just a board, but it has the hanger. So that's nice if you wanted to put this piece on a wall. You most certainly could. This pretty painted board would look so nice as somebody's Christmas decor. For right now, I've just put it on the fireplace mantle in the kitchen, and it fits even underneath this candle sconce, which is sometimes hard to do. I think it was a really good find. The next piece that I'm going to show you is a little rough, but it was only $6 and I think I can improve the condition a little. So it is this beautiful framed cross stitch that I paid $6 for. It's in this fabulous Adirondack style frame. It's nice and big. I love the blue thread. It says the old rocking chair. And here is the rocking chair featured right here. And so you can see there's lots of dings and little condition problems with the frame, but I think I can make that better. And regardless, I just thought this was charming. So it had to come home with me. I'm wondering if we can make this a little better with some feed and wax, which I have right here. It certainly wouldn't hurt to try. So I'm gonna put on a coat and see if that doesn't help things. A little bit of wood conditioner is always a good idea. I'm also going to clean the glass because it's pretty dirty. And one trick I would recommend is that you never spray the glass directly, because you never know if some of the spray, some of the liquid is going to get under the frame and actually damage whatever it is that's inside the frame. In this case, the embroidery, the artwork, the photograph, whatever you have. You don't want to get Windex or whatever else you're using inside there. So always good to be careful and just sort of spray your paper towel or whatever you're using to clean the piece, and that way you won't have a bad experience. That has happened to me before. Oh, this makes, even just a simple clean makes such a big difference. The feed and wax is going to need to dry for a couple of hours, but I think you can see how much better this looks. And now the glass is nice and clean. What I couldn't change is like these little rosettes have some discoloration around the wood. But if somebody was bothered by that and wanted to keep that, you could always try to do a very light sanding and then use a product like Restore Finish in a similar wood tone. And that would probably be pretty much as good as new. I'm not gonna try it because that's more work than I feel like putting into this right now. And for things that I own myself, I don't usually feel bothered by these kinds of little imperfections. I like my old pieces to look old, although I can tell you this was made in 1966, which I didn't realize before, but do you see in the far right-hand side? There is an initial and the numbers 66, which I certainly would assume means 1966. So there we go. We have some dating, and I think this is a great piece. And I think that a little bit of feed and wax really did make a nice difference. Have you ever seen a little collection of Delft houses like on somebody's windowsill or on a shelf? It is such a cute look. I have one house myself that I picked up, I think, at a tag sale about 1 million years ago. But I found 2. And so I thought they were so cute. So I guess these used to house some kind of liquid. So it says Blue Delfts exclusively made for KLM by Bowles, Amsterdam. And then it says 1575. And the year is 2007. So not very old, but definitely very cute. And as I mentioned, these look so adorable when you put them together as a collection. And yeah, I really like the shape of them. I like the shape and I like the color. It's like having your own little village right in the palm of your hand. So I thought they were fun. And I also really liked this very pretty pitcher or creamer. I guess it could be quite a tall creamer with the rooster on it because I love things with chicken themes. And this was made by Grace's Teaware, so it's not terribly old. But Grace's Teaware really does make lovely things. And I thought this was just the kind of very small piece that would look lovely on somebody's shelf, somewhere in somebody's kitchen, just as a little interesting accent. I've created a little scene from Amsterdam here on my kitchen windowsill. So the building to the far right is one that I've had for a long time, and then the 2 to the left of it are the ones I just picked up at the Bethany Flea Market. And I think they look so cute here on the windowsill. I'm not sure that I can sell these on eBay though, because listen to this. Oh, are you hearing that? There's still something inside it, and I think it's some kind of alcohol, that's my guess. So I'm not sure if that rules out selling it on eBay. I'm gonna have to look that up. There seems to be some in this one as well. Yeah, although, yeah, this one seems to be empty. I'm not sure what's going on there, but I'll have to look that up. I don't want to get in trouble with eBay, that's for sure. But regardless, I think these are really cute on a windowsill. They look really cute on a shelf. They just have a little bit of personality, and they're so small, they're easy to move all around the house. This little chicken pitcher is adorable, and I think it looks right at home here on my kitchen shelves. It's such a cute little versatile piece. I love to find interesting gifts for my sister-in-law Meredith because she has such a great sense of style. She has like kind of this retro bohemian style that is so I love it. She never looks like anyone else in the room. She always looks distinctly like herself. And you could pick apart like each item that she's wearing and it's beautiful. But then when you look at the whole look works too. I think that's such a talent, and she definitely has it. And so when I find things that are interesting when I'm out and about, I love to grab them for her. So this will be her Christmas present, and I feel okay saying that because she doesn't watch my videos, although she should, right? Why am I buying Christmas presents for a family member who doesn't watch my video? The answer is because if I didn't, I would have no Christmas presents to buy. They're the worst. The only one in my corner consistently is Eric. So Eric, if you're watching right now, thank you. But back to Meredith. So I bought her this lovely bag. Let me see if I can show you the details. Here's the details in the metalwork. This is such a cool little bag. I love the beading on the strap, and the strap has sort of like metal, sort of meshy metal look. And inside, it has this really pretty sort of brownish satiny look. This was made in India, and the person I bought it from said it was from her own collection, and she told me she purchased this in the 90s. So I thought this could be fun. This is the sort of thing she would use, but also display, and I think she'll really like it. And I also found these very pretty earrings to include with it. I thought they had great sculptural quality. I don't know how well you're seeing these. Let's try to put my hand behind it. They have kind of this cool sculptural look. And I thought they would look beautiful on her. She wears her hair up a fair little bit, so you can really notice her earrings. So I'm hoping I did a good job in my early Christmas shopping. I think I did. I bought the little dog treats that I showed you in the video footage, but they are practically gone now because Licorice has been enjoying them so much. But I love to buy these little baked treats for her when I can find them. It's just something a little different, and I especially like things that have peanut butter in them because that is definitely a favorite of Miss Thing over here. Oh, and here's the bracelet that I showed you in the footage as well. I am really enjoying wearing this. And she's off. We've had a lot of deliveries lately, as you can see. This next piece might be my favorite find of the day. And it is this beautiful framed embroidered artwork. I love the colors of these flowers. This is just pure spring to me. But the colors of the flowers would look nice all year round, wouldn't it? So I'm holding it closer so you can see the stitching detail. I love things in oval frames. And this is great because it's not too big so that it will be hard to place somewhere on someone's wall, but it's not so small that it's likely to get lost either. So that seems like a good midway point. And I'm hoping someone's really happy to have this. Here is the back. I thought it was just so lovely. And again, that handmade quality that I so admire and appreciate and try to pick up whenever I can. I just hung up this beautiful embroidered wall art. I'm getting a little glare, and of course this doesn't fit in the space. I've sort of squished it in there, but I think it gives you a sense of how beautiful it looks hanging up on a wall. This is really lovely. The colors on it are so good in my opinion, and the frame is an awesome shape. Boy, people really have some great skills, don't they? Look at the individual leaves in this. It's a really pretty piece. Now we're going to shift gears in a really big way because I have some vintage toys to show you that I thought were super interesting. So I bought this old wooden fire truck. This is made by Play School, and it has such a cool look about it. Here's like the little pull apparatus. It's got this little ball. You can stick in there, I guess, if you want to. And the ladder comes up and it has a little bell inside. Got lots of cool things happening. Now, I don't know if this is missing any parts. I imagine there must have been 2 little play school figures that would have driven the truck. But this can be great as a decor piece for somebody who wants something really interesting looking. I don't know if I'll be able to part with it. We'll have to see. Here's the bottom, in case you're curious. But, oh, and look, even has this little thing that turns. Oh, I see what happens. This little crank is supposed to turn the ladder, I think. I don't know, but I thought it was adorable. The last thing I picked up was another play school item. This is like a little wagon that pulls, and it has like these little milk bottles in it. But I think that this was actually for different kinds of shapes. I think this was like a little shape sorting toy originally. I don't think that these were part of it, but it's kind of working for me. And again, it just has such a great look. I love that it's wood. So many times you find these toys in plastic, which I also appreciate, but there's something about an old wooden toy that is just pure nostalgia. So I decided to pick this up. I put a little feed-in wax on this play school wagon, and I thought it might look really cute as a plant holder. So I would need to play around with these leaves a little bit to get them just right. But I think it gives kind of a quirky, interesting look. Anyway, it's fun to find a new use for old things, and I do love this old wagon. So I think this is kind of fun. I just thought of another great use for this little play school wagon. I put some vintage books inside it, and I'm almost using the wagon itself as kind of a bookend system because these books stay so nicely inside it, and because the books are small in scale, I think it looks kind of cute. So I'm gonna live with this for a while and see what I think. I'm always excited when Eric has a find because he's so picky. He often leaves places empty-handed, but not this time. So let me show you what he found. So Eric, here is your sole purchase from the Bethany Flea Market. So tell us what you bought.
This is, for our older viewers, drive-in theater speaker.
Okay.
So you go to the drive-in, and there would be like a pole, and there would be 2 hanging on both sides. So when you pulled up to the pole, you would take it out. The wire would be obviously still connected, and you roll down your window, and roll the window up, and it would hold the speaker like that.
Okay.
And then here was your volume. And then when you came in, they would tell you what radio station to tune your radio to. AM 560. You turn it to 560, and then the sound of the movie would come into your car via the speaker.
Nice. And so why did you feel compelled to take that home?
We used to go to the drive-in a lot. There was actually 2, Plainville Drive-In and the Farmington Drive-In.
Okay.
That's where we went and watched movies. And I remember it very clearly of putting these out or putting them on our windows to watch the movies. So it was pretty cool.
Nice. So it was a kind of a nostalgic moment when you saw it.
Yeah, I have 2 in the barn from the original Plainville Drive-In.
Cool.
The gentleman who owned that, Mr. Tinty, was a friend of my dad's.
Okay.
So when they were going to close it down and build the Lowell's, I asked if I can go and grab one, and he said yes. So.
Oh, that's nice.
So
and
just another added. I don't think I paid much. I want to say maybe $10. They should all clean up.
Yeah.
Has a little crack right there, but I'm not really too concerned about the little crack.
Not perfect, but still reminds you of happy days.
Yeah, the drive-in.
Nice. Thanks, Eric.
Yeah, no problem.
While Eric was talking, you might have noticed Indy the scene stealer in the background, and I'm calling him that because he loves to wait until somebody else is talking so he can do some kind of interesting antics in the background and take all of the attention away. But, we can't compete with this cute face. Look at him. He knows exactly what he's doing, and he's so cute, we can't stay mad at him for long. It occurs to me that you've seen all of the fur babies by now, except Miss Iris, who is in the laundry room hiding as she takes a little nap. And you'll see she's still wearing the cone of shame as we try to heal up her face. It's getting there. She can sometimes scratch it even through the cone, but not so directly as when she doesn't wear it. So overall, I think it's getting the job done. It doesn't look very comfortable, but it doesn't stop her from napping and playing and doing all of her usual things. So that's what I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed my many interesting finds. I love that so many of them were unique, one-of-a-kind pieces because those really call to me especially. But if you like this video, please hit like. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already. Please share this video with a friend if you think you know somebody who might enjoy it. And more than anything else, have a fantastic day. See you next time.
Once the students came, I felt so much more at home. I felt so much more in my element. It was that reminder of like, this is why I'm here. This is what I want to do. The kids have been so polite. I haven't gotten to know that many of them yet, but that's going to change. It was their first week back last week. And I think by the time you see this, the footage will be about a week old. So I'm a little ahead of myself in terms of the time frame. So by the time you watch this, the kids will have been back for like 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. So hopefully things will be even better at that point. But it's been great to see them. They've been great, and it's just that reminder of why I'm there in the first place. I can't wait to get to know more of them. I felt a little guilty because one student came into my office. She was in tears and having a really hard day. And when she left, I just had like this smile plastered to my face, not because I wanted her to be upset, because I didn't, but because it felt so good to work with her and help her figure out her way forward so that she could get back to class and have a plan of action. And I'm just looking forward to a lot more interactions like that one. Not, again, I don't want sad kids. I want that feeling like I could be useful to them.